Welcome, everybody. It's another Tuesday. Thanks for joining us. We're all fresh off the ice after Cold Lake. Slow bite. What do you guys think of the weekend?
Yeah, definitely slower than normal. It's fun though. We didn't have to go to work.
Yeah, way better than working. What did you think, Greg?
That was pretty slow. It was good weekend, but it was slower than normal. That's for sure.
Yeah,
Definitely pretty slow. Just saw a few fish, but they just weren't interested in chasing or anything.
yeah. I know when me and Broden got on the ice, right off the bat, there was a moose sitting right kind of where we were going. So we kind of just used his guidance. And we got one laker right there, like right off the bat. It bedded down right on the lake between us and the bank.
Huh.
We got one laker, and if you zoom in on the hero shot, you can see the moose in the background sitting there.
I might be able to get it through the camera. Where are we?
I think it'll be too hard.
No. Nothing's that hard.
Yeah, so like, did you guys fish all Friday?
Yeah, I got out there Thursday night. Stayed at I think I stayed at your guys' hotel, Mitch. I seen Brady there, but yeah, fished hard. Friday morning, pretty much set up by 8, all the way through till dusk, and Saturday, and then Sunday we left at noon.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got in. We got there Thursday morning. We pre-fished for a few hours Thursday, and then fished hard Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah, we rolled in pretty late on Friday, but we stayed all Sunday.
Yeah.
Sunday seemed to be the better day for us.
No, the better day for you. That's more so.
Yeah, Sunday was lights out for us too. I couldn't get my deadline set up. They kept popping, and couldn't get my GoPro going either.
Oh yeah. I think we missed quite a bit on the dead stick. Like they were just popping them off and then they were gone.
Yeah.
But
I found if my bigger dead sticks, the fish couldn't, like the smaller fish were picking it and then spitting it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that problem Friday. Lots of them spitting the bait.
Yeah. I was running a 10 to 12 inch sucker actually, and that thing went off like crazy, but like the hookup ratio wasn't great with that because a lot of small fish probably grabbing it. Trying to grab it and swallow it, but they probably couldn't swallow it.
Trying to be a hero.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ran herring the first day, Friday, and then Saturday morning I went and picked up some of those suckers, and they worked pretty good. I used all the suckers I had. I think I had one left at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I had problems finding suckers until the very last there. I got the rig and jig there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he had a bunch. But I actually, I had more looks and takes on herring for some odd reason. I don't know why, but
yeah, herring works good out there too. Yeah.
Yeah, but the suckers they got a few bites, but I just had more success on the herring.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah.
You just didn't have the luck.
Mm-hmm.
I had no luck. Yes. Well, I did better than last year. That's the main thing.
You got one on the board, so everyone's happier.
I lost so many though. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it was a tough go. I think Friday was my worst. I had caught tons of small ones and nothing like that one. I think one was 28, and like I was like, "What's going on with this fishery?"
yeah, I know, because usually you're in like the low 30s for sure, 32, 33, like pretty consistent every year.
Yeah. Well, we got a 33 the first year.
Yeah.
Like last year, I got just under 31, and I was only there for a day and a half. But yeah, I was high hopes this year, and I might have had one big one on, and that's about it.
Yeah.
I feel bad for you. I saw that footage, and I'm just like, oh no.
Yeah, that's when you set the hook, and it's like you don't feel much tail wags, and fight it for like 4 minutes, 3 minutes, and then poof, gone. Yeah.
It's a bad feeling.
Yeah, but it's fishing. It's all good.
Yeah.
Get a little deflated there, but you get back up and try again.
For sure. So once you first got to the lake and kind of seen what was going on, were you guys going big right off the bat? Or do you start off smaller? I know some guys will start off small just to locate fish. And other guys will just go big just to see what's kicking around.
I usually just go to my pen and then just wait. I'll just stay there all day, and I'll see if they're hitting active baits, and run two. Well, me and my buddy were running active baits and a couple dead baits, and then they weren't hitting the active baits, so we switched another to dead bait, and they started popping here through the day. So that's what kind of my strategy is, and then I'll cut bigger slabs of sucker. I'll go up even to like 10-inch slabs of sucker and cut the whole side off and lay that on bottom. See how that works. It works actually pretty good.
What size of active baits were you using?
Yeah, just like the swim baits, the frostbite, like 4.5, 5-inch baits.
Yeah.
But TC motos, and then probably would have worked too, right?
Yeah, the classics.
Yeah.
What did you find, Greg, for bites?
I started off with I set up my dead stick while we were kind of setting up. I ran extra large herring, and it was fairly slow with the real big ones. And so I ran a 4-inch tube is what I used most of the time. I even switched down to just a 1/2-ounce jig and minnow, and I think I caught one that way. But they're just hugging bottom. You couldn't get them to lift. You get the ones that would come up and commit would come hard, but most of them, you get them to come up 2-3 feet off bottom. You try everything, switch hooks, and they were just tough. And I found once they were hitting a dead stick, we just switched over to 2 dead sticks and kind of just let them be.
Yeah. I know Broden was switching every like 10 minutes, going crazy.
I was just throwing it. Well, I generally start off with something pretty aggressive just to see if there's anything active coming through, and then nothing for the next 10, 15, then I'll throw the dead stick down to get something, and then I'll switch up to something a little bit smaller and something a little bit subtle.
Yeah.
But then I did the same thing as you, Greg. I ended up just running 2 dead sticks and just sat there and like.
Yeah, you get to be lazy.
Yeah. The morning bite, I try to run something active, but other than that, if they weren't biting, then I'd just switch back to another dead stick. I'd always have my dead stick outside or whatever, and then inside the tent, I'd try to run 4-inch bait or something and see if they were active. If they weren't active, I'd switch back and forth and back and forth. I'd go from dead stick for a bit back to running a 4-inch tube, and
we caught basically everything in the morning. Like after 11, 12, it was just you'd see them come through, but there was no real action.
We had morning and the evening bite was decent, but as soon as it got dark, light. So, like, do you guys have any luck at all overnight? I didn't have nothing once it got dark.
No, I hit the hotel. Went out for drinks.
Yeah, we're watching Star Wars, I think.
I always notice guys like at Cold Lake, like the summer bites, crazy active jigs and stuff.
Yeah.
First ice is really good with active jigs, but guys, when I've been hitting February, end of February, March, I've always noticed Cold Lake just dies right off for the active. So I brought lots of bait because I knew it was going to be a bait bite. Yeah. But early season, like January, if you can get on there early January and walk on or whatever, just fish off the point there. It like tube jigs and stuff just gets crushed.
Yeah, we did really well this year in January. We went out and we did good 3 or 4 times we went out.
I feel like it's just like a dead lower, like I think the fish are lethargic. You know, they just kind of like looking for free meals, right?
Easy meal, yeah.
Yeah, like February. So, but I've never really fished it end of March. I've always just fished it, you know, right when you could drive on. Yeah, a couple times early season, but.
Yeah.
Still a fun fishery. Lots of fish. Like you can get into lots of numbers there.
It was a big difference from last year because I remember using an extension last year, and now this year, I think in some places we were finding 18 inches.
I think
third day when I went off to the Sask side there, and my first hole, I bet you it was maybe 14 inches thick.
Yeah, we're set up until 15.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, well. And then I walked over to drill my second hole, and it was definitely like at least 18 inches. So it was a little bit of a difference there. It was weird.
Yeah.
You know, I was walking out to set up a bait out deeper and like just walking along, and I just fell through into floodwater and it was down to my knee. I'm like,
Yeah, Sunday morning we got the truck stuck half decent. We just kept going, and it just kept more of that top layer of ice just kept packing under the truck till our back tires weren't on the ground anymore. So we had to shovel that. You probably saw it if you're going out to the point.
Pretty sure it was me that come right behind them, and I just stopped. I'm like, oh yeah, I ain't going any further. You can see where it just dropped right off.
Wow.
So I backed up.
We had the hot rod look going with the everything up.
It just started packing in my diffs and my wheel wells till I just couldn't go any forward anymore. But we're out in like 5-10 minutes, so
yeah,
some quick shovel work and you're back at her.
Yeah.
Last year there was way more snow.
Oh yeah.
It was so late getting freezing this year. Those big snowstorms hit before it was totally frozen. So I think that's what kept a lot of that snow, and the wind that we've had this year kind of blew everything in certain spots. That's why you'd go across the lake and all of a sudden you'd see 2.5 feet of snow or 2 feet of snow, and you're back to 3 inches in a lot of spots.
Because like last year, we had like almost a foot of snow one night, and then you had like 40-kilometer winds.
Yeah.
Like the next day, it was just like, what can you do?
I pulled you out.
Great.
Yeah, you pulled me
Let's
out,
talk about your floodwater.
Oh, I didn't want to talk about that. That was I was always told never to shovel snow, but there was like 2 inches of snow. I said, I'll get rid of it. Instead of being soft, I shoveled it, and as soon as I drilled my holes, you just see it coming up. I was like, oh, it'll stop. By day 2, everything was floating, splashing around, walking up. I had not sandals, but smaller shoes, and it was over my boots. I got my feet soaked. So by Saturday evening, I missed the last 2 hours, 2-hour bite before dark, just moving.
Yeah, that's waking up to floodwater in your shack.
Oh, you move your blanket falls over, everything's soaked.
Yeah,
I saw a video of making a creek out of your shack.
Oh yeah.
Hole.
I figured I drilled a bunch of small half holes and I figured I'd pour it out. Yeah, I filled them up and it did not budge the depth that was intent. So it was pretty gross.
Is there anything you guys would do different to approach what like this year had for that slower bite, or just stay on the dead baits?
Man, I guess my second day I should have picked a new spot. It was slow, but yeah, I don't know. I basically did everything I would normally do and what's worked back in the day, and it's just the way it goes, right?
Yeah.
You know, you start the tournament Friday morning and you log into the leaderboard and you see that 35-inch fish.
2 years in a row.
And then you're like, okay, what are we gonna do now?
Yeah,
Like
2 years in a row.
My personal best on Cold Lakes, like 34.5, like maybe 2 of those, but I've never hit 35. So
yeah, once it gets up there, you're kind of like, oh shucks.
yeah, it's like, well, I guess we're just fishing for fun now.
But there has to be a 36 one of these years.
Yeah, I think
they're there.
I think they need to change the regs for that to happen.
Yeah,
and there is that proposal. Did you guys fill out that survey?
Yeah.
And what was your thoughts on that?
Well, I think there was that bait ban also was in there.
Yeah.
Was there a bait ban? Yeah. I don't know.
There was
Bait
talks
ban would
about
suck for most people because I think Cold Lake's fishing the best with bait, and I get their idea. They don't want hooks in the throat, right?
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens next year.
Yeah, and the different size limits. Do you think doing a smaller slot size like most of the other provinces would help, or do you think that bigger size slot they have is working?
Well, they got to get rid of that.
Yeah,
that bigger one.
Keep one big one because like a lot of people that fish there, they want to bring home something. So what are they going to bring home? They can only bring home one type of fish.
Right? One big greasy fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly think they should go to a tag system. And I know people hate tag systems, but at least they can implement how many fish get taken per year at that lake, right? And the sizes that can get taken, right? Just like the walleye lakes around here. I don't like the tag system, but if you got to do something, that's probably the quickest and easiest thing to do.
Right. I completely agree with you, because I was talking to a buddy of mine, the same thing. He says, like, I looked at it, said it'd be nice if they had a slot size, but with a tag system, because then you're just like the walleye with the C and B class tags. Like if you get a tag system, it's still a little bit iffy. But if you do a tag with the slot size, you know you're going to get that bigger size fish to actually get to bigger.
Yeah, it's like a lot of, well, like as soon as I do like this tag system 100%, especially in Alberta, just because of our population and the pressure that it gets hit, especially in those central Alberta lakes for walleye and stuff. Because you could see, for example, Gull was producing 26, 28-inch walleye, and the tags were working, but also that the bait just wasn't there, and you could tell they were starting to starve. They were getting real skinny through the heads and everything. So if they limited the tags and took away the bigger size and went to a smaller size, like every other province pretty much, I think it helps out a lot better.
Yeah, they got to do something for sure if they want that fishery to grow bigger fish. Because I didn't start fishing it probably till like 8 years ago, but we'd have like 4 or 5 fish over 30 inches a day, right? And it's hard to see that nowadays unless you get a good day. There are spots on the lake that I do know probably hold bigger fish. It's just access to them. If you probably need a snowmobile, so I didn't even bother. But I basically just went up to have fun.
It's a fun tournament, and there's a lot of anglers up there, and it's a great time just to connect with people.
It's one of the only times you get to see a lot of the people that you talk to as well.
I met a few different guys that I've talked to before. I just never met them, and just meet them on the tournament.
Do you with it being so slow, did you guys downsize a lot for when you're running something inside your shack, or no?
I dropped into a jig and minnow a couple of times, and I stuck around that 4-inch. I tried some bigger TCs and stuff, some 6-inch ones and like 2-ounce ones, and I stuck with kind of that 4-inch. It seemed to be they chase a little better, but it's hard to say. Some of those
it's definitely good for the community, this tournament.
I dropped down to 6 mil tungsten.
With a chunk of meat on there.
I heard someone else talk about that, so I thought, I'll give that a go.
I used the new meathead from Frostbite, and I caught a couple small ones, and just little 1-inch chunk of meat, and it worked, but I was pretty lazy this tournament. I just laid everything on bottom.
I know my first fish came on a flutter spoon, like 1.5 inch, little clam.
I like my swim baits.
I've never seen a grown man get so excited over a 20-inch lake ever until I saw Mitch.
It's the first fish in the lake. Skunk over. But then I used the small jig with a 1.5 inch paddle tail, and I caught another one on that too, that I robbed from Broden after he played it through the water column 3 times.
I noticed a couple of the Lakers spit up some small minnows when I was fishing. They were like maybe 2.5-inch minnows.
Oh, really? What kind of rods were you guys using and like equipment for setups, Sean?
I was running mostly Frostbite rods, medium heavy, deadbolts, I think, and then all my rods were rigged up with 15-pound braid and 2500 series reels, CI4s, and we got that new Vanford's really nice, and then just some cheaper Sedonas too. And I honestly found if you run 15-pound braid properly, and fight the fish, you won't have a problem.
Yeah.
You know, if you go more into the northern lakes where you're getting 40 inches, then you're going to want to upsize to like 20 to 30 pound braid, right?
Yeah.
But medium heavy rods, you know, any kind of medium heavy rods will work good. Like mediums, I find is too light for lake trout.
Yeah, Mitch seen my medium in action a couple weeks ago. That little medium hot, it just bends right over.
That was a month ago.
It
was bent over. You're like, I forgot my rod, and now I got this one. And it's like this.
Hey, they work. You just
they work. Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as you got the reel in line to back it.
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah, you can't run 1,000 series reels in 100 feet of water.
No.
What were you using, Greg, for gear?
I had my 45 medium heavy hot rod, just a bait cast setup for one of them, and same thing. The other one was a spin reel. I was running. I used my bait casters for dead stick because when it was cold out, once you get them wet ones, I basically had to bring them inside to thaw them out. So I'd have two switching out. If I catch a fish or I reeled it up, I just bring my other one set out instead.
Yeah.
And that's when I think I got 20-pound braid on that one, and I think it's 15 or 20-pound fluoro leader. Run about 6 feet, 6-foot leader on it.
Yeah.
For my dead stick, I had just your weight set up here with a single and a treble. I don't know if you can see that. Just one of those sliding rigs, and that's what I use for my dead stick.
Broden, what was your gear?
For dead stick rod, I ran a Mr. Big from Frostbite, and I actually had my Stratic on there, a size 4,000, just in case I wasn't getting there in time. I had the line capacity for that. And then the rest of the time, and the other rods were a couple of Timber Wilderness medium heavies, and on a couple of 2,500 Mirabelles, like those newer Shimano Mirabelles. I think they're like basically the cheaper version of the Vanford. And I was also running a couple of customs my buddy made for me, which I probably will be turning them into walleye rods after I put a 1 ounce cube on them.
Yeah, they had some pretty fast action on that tip.
Yeah. Well, I felt them before. I'm like, I'm not sure if they're heavy enough. And then as soon as I put the 1 ounce and I start ripping, I'm like, yeah, this is more of a run and gun walleye rod.
Yeah. Yeah, I just ran a Masuda 40 medium heavy, a Fenwick 42 medium heavy, and a Timber 42.
Yeah.
And I did that 42 Timber I used as a dead stick, and that's a nice handling rod.
Those Timbers are nice.
You haven't tried one yet.
No, it's a pretty nice rod. Like they had a sale at Cabela's last week or the week before, like $20 off. But yeah, real nice, solid rod, good back and everything to it.
Yeah, I went out and got the Mac Attack series ones.
Oh yeah,
they're good because they just got those oversized guides.
Yeah, that's the one thing with the Fenwick. It's got that those tiny little guides. It's good for in the shack, but if you put it outside, it's not helping you any.
Yeah. These hods were the same. They were freezing up pretty good. You're constantly trying to thaw, especially the end one there.
Yeah, I found with my Mr. Big, I could just flick them. Those eyelets seem to not hold ice as easy.
Oh yeah.
You can just flick them. And...
You have the recoil guides on those?
No, I didn't spend the extra money, but because they're so thin, they don't obviously have a lot of material for the ice to grab onto, so you just flick it. But I didn't have quite enough money to buy for the recoil ones. Maybe next year. They're really nice.
Yeah, they're way more expensive.
Yeah,
I don't even have
Frostbites. They're all mediums.
Frostbite's got the Vanta Black series. They're like double the price.
Yeah.
And you don't have one? Sean.
I still have to pay for most of my stuff.
Come on.
Yeah.
They should be throwing them at
nice, but it's just like you said, it's twice the price. So you could have two rods and just not throw something on top of them and bend guides.
Yeah. What kind of, I know everyone is kind of fishing different. Well, most people are kind of fishing the same structure. But what kind of structure are you guys looking for, and where were you kind of starting your days out?
I was off a drop. I would start off in 80 feet in the morning.
Yeah.
80 feet's usually my morning bite, and then I go up to I go to 100 feet after that in the afternoon, even up to like 110.
Yeah.
But yeah, any kind of drop off or point or stretch are good, right?
Yeah.
Greg, what were you tackling out there?
I was on a hard drop. I started actually about 50 feet. I think that's where I set my camp. I was at 50 feet. I know it was decent early in the morning, but then I'd work my way out to about 80, 90 feet. And then once I moved camp, I was sitting at 80 feet. So I started there and worked out to about 100 feet. I went in a little bit, but it seemed like everything was deeper. I would have liked to the first night to actually have my tent a little deeper, but I was going to set up my live scope and everything, but it was just a hassle with that much water in the tent. I didn't want to get everything wet, so I just ran my flasher.
That's a very
live scope
expensive.
Doesn't work as great in deep water.
No, it was tough. You can't see much. Like you can finally, but you're spending more time dialing it in than fishing at the end of it. You're just trying. You can never see your bait close to the bottom. Up higher, you're all right, but down deep, you're not seeing nothing.
So with our live scope, I think we got it down to, we could see the 3/8 jig at 95 feet.
Oh
wow!
With the 34 or 32?
No, we have I have the 34.
Okay, yeah.
But you could you could see it, but you'd have that sort of grainy interference, but it was smaller than the jig, so you could sort of still differentiate it.
Yeah.
But we still had our Vexler for like that 1/4 inch increments sort of thing.
I had a buddy with the old Panoptics, and that worked great in that 60, 80 feet, the old school one. Yeah, you can see it was big. You could see everything pretty neat. But that 32,
really good, that old Panoptics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't tried a 34 yet, but there's supposedly, how do you like it? Like you said, 95 is still decent. You just, a lot of interference.
It's 90% of the time you can see your jig. You just once in a while, you just lose it for a second. It'll just sort of miss it. And then back. But I still think you need a flasher of some sort, just because I like to use it as a broad scheme and have the Vexler next to it and be watching the Vexler. And then if something's coming through the water column that's 30 or 40 feet out and it's coming through, you can sort of set your bait up in that height or whatever if you're trying to actively jig for them.
Yeah.
Because that 95, we were picking this up.
Oh, yeah.
Close to the bottom, like there's that interference for the little, I think it was like 6 feet, but you get out of that, and I could see this on the live scope.
Yeah. I just stuck with the Vexler. I love the Vexler for deeper water. It works good.
Like I'm a Garmin guy, but like I've also got the Vexler, and I don't know what Vexler does, but it just somehow it's just always crisp, no matter what.
Everyone else hates you, but
everyone hates
yourself around you. As soon as I turn it on, you hear the boys just swearing. They're like, "Oh, Greg turned his Vexler on." Can't see nothing.
Yeah, the hummingbirds get bad interference with the Vexler.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got
the Vexlers are always crisp.
True. Screws everyone else around them.
It's always funny.
That's how you win tournaments, right there.
Yeah.
Don't park too close.
Yeah. My buddy Lee gets really annoyed because what's that sound? I said, that's my Vexler. I said, why does it make sound? You know it's working.
Yeah.
It's the power.
When I was out fishing, my buddy was in the shack, and we were in 100 feet. He was pounding bottom with his swim bait. So I put one on. I was dropping down, and at like 30 feet down, I got hit. And you could see it on the sonar, and he smashed my jig, and I missed it. And then I kept dropping, and you'd see it drop, and he smashed me again. And like I got hit 3 times up high. Yeah. And then my buddy's like, "Oh, the fish are up high in the water column." So I'm going to fish high up in the water column. And so he did that all day. He never got a bite. I was like, dude, it's like, doesn't happen very often. Yeah. Like,
it just gets in your head though. Once someone's getting that one spot, you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to stay up in there.
Yeah.
And you'll sit there for a bit. Then you're like, oh man, I'm going back down.
That's the thing.
Just changing it up all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but that's what you have to do to adapt. Like, the bite can be good for a second there, then the next minute it's not, and you're back down laying on the bottom, and
just need that active fish. One active fish.
Yeah.
Just get you going.
Yeah, I got one as soon as I dropped about 15 feet down and my hook stopped. I thought I hooked in the ice. I was looking around, went to set the hook, and I was like, oh shit, there's a fish. So I dropped it back down. It's 3 tie, got him, and yeah, by the time I reeled up, my leader was there in no time. So he hit it right off the get-go. But that's the only one I seen up high, that high. Everything else was low.
Yeah.
Hugging bottom.
I found with the live scope, when you'd see one come through at that sort of only 30 foot below the ice, you'd bring something up to it. They had no interest. They just cruise on through. They're more of like had no anything below 70 feet. There was somewhat interest, but those real high up ones, they just were cruising around,
cruising through
like burbs. The high cruisers, you just can't get them.
Yeah.
What for your dead sticks? Do you guys run the slip weight mostly in a treble, or do you do like a combo with a treble and a single hook, or what are you guys running?
Yeah, I'll run just the bullet weight or sliding weight. Yeah. And if I use like a sucker belly that's maybe like 3.5 inches, long and then an inch wide, I'll just run one J hook. And that's it. But if I run like a slab of 10 inch long sucker, so it'd be like 10 inches long and like 1 inch wide, or even like the whole 10-inch sucker, then I'll run a treble in the right behind the head. Yeah. And then just a J hook, middle to the back of it. Yeah. And if you don't have much bait, like if I run like 10 to 12 inch suckers and I don't have very many, what I'll do is I'll run another line, tie it to the tail, and then I'll run that line to my main line. So then when the hooks fall out of that bait and it's like a 12-inch sucker, you still have that bait because it's still attached to the tail with that line, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So it's just like kind of dangling off the side while the fish is fighting. I ran a 12-inch sucker for 3 days. It was mashed right up, but I didn't lose it. So it's a little trick I do. It's just tie the tail with like mono and then, tie it up to your main line. Just make sure it's out of your main line of your hooks, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've been running that for a couple of years. And that way you hook a fish and you don't get them. Your bait's not on the ground, so you got all this bait all over the place, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's a good idea.
But yeah, that's how I run mine. I run the sliding rigs, just probably like what Greg showed us there on his rod there.
Yeah.
Yeah, simple setup, easy to do.
Yeah.
With that, so once it was slowing down, like everyone was we were talking about it earlier, 10 o'clock, it was kind of just dead. Did you try to activate a bite, or it was just relax and wait for a bite?
I don't know. I think day 2 I tried a little bit, but I think it's just that day. Like I feel like when I fish Cold Lake, when I fish a spot 2 days in a row, the second day is always slower.
Oh yeah.
So I should have moved after day 1 to a different spot, but day 3, I probably in like 4 hours I probably caught 15 fish. So it was pretty much just dead bait on bottom all day that day.
Yeah.
But yeah. They just weren't feeding like very well on active baits the whole weekend. And like I said, like the middle of February, it just seems like you'll get them in the morning and then they just don't commit really after that. They get lazy, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
We could talk about the fluorocarbon line. Yeah. I had a couple rods rigged up with 15-pound fluoro, and I caught a couple good fish on them day 1. And I found that the line, once it stretched, it lost its strength, and I snapped a couple off after. So I retied just with 17-pound mono, and I found if you catch a big fish on fluoro, it seems to brittle the line for some reason. Maybe not all types of fluoro, but the one I was running, I just didn't keep its strength. So I just basically by day 2, I had all mono on all my lines and got rid of that fluorocarbon.
Do you think that's just because it doesn't flex at all? It doesn't stretch? like a mono?
Yeah, I think so. I seen a study online a guy did, and he had a couple fluorocarbons, and he stretched them out to max, like really strong, put weights on them, and then he did breaking strength after, and the more you flex the fluoro, the weaker it got.
Yeah,
Whereas monofilament would stretch, so it wouldn't like have all those little tiny cracks in the line, right? So the monofilament seemed to hold its strength.
It takes me back to welding school for different tensile strengths and whatnot. Pretty much that stiffer non-moving thing is not going to last as long as something that's going to adapt to the situation.
Yeah.
So yeah, I lost a couple of fish on my fluoro breaking, and maybe it was just horsed them in. I don't know.
Do you think you will keep running fluoro retie all the time?
Well, most of the lakes I fish, I'm only going for 1 or 2 bites a day.
Yeah.
So I'll put brand new fluoro on at the start of my trip. And, maybe after day 1, I'll retie if I'm only catching like 1 or 2 fish a day, right? But they're big. It does have that invisibility. So.
Yeah, that's the difference between catching and just targeting big fish as well.
Yeah.
Like there's lots of people that go out to catch fish, but then there's the others that just go for that 1 or 2 bites that day.
Right. Yeah.
So you just set up for that one moment.
Yeah.
Yep.
And hopefully this year was crazy, way better weather, but
the fishing was amazing.
Yeah. It wasn't warming up your propane tank in a truck so you could start your heater this year.
No.
Yeah. I wouldn't say Sunday or Saturday and Sunday were but man, Friday we didn't even have a shack bite. We took it down by 2.
Yeah, it was
like no wind, and like maybe was it 0 out or something?
Yeah.
It was amazing. We're like, no, I'm taking the shack down.
We stayed at the shack all day Friday.
Yeah. Those days are, man, they're just a dime a dozen out there. It's like you never get that, right?
No.
Usually you plan a trip and then like you plan it a month and ahead, and then it's like -30 when you go.
Yeah, every time.
Yeah. And then you do these trips now and you get that weather, you're just like in heaven. It's awesome.
Yeah. Like I was hoping for like a awesome bite. I thought it was going to be sunshine. Then when we got up there, it was just snowing. I looked at the report earlier. Then it's like, oh, well, this is going to affect stuff.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be sunshine and fish all weekend. But
yeah. I didn't care. I was out having fun with my buddy.
Yeah.
100%. Do you guys find that they bite better when it's sunny out?
Rainbow trout, I do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know a lot about lake trout. I guess some of my northern lakes, it is better when it is sunny. The sun could get down into the water column better, right?
Yeah.
Instead of being dark. I haven't really figured out or tried to figure out Cold Lake if it's sunny or not. I just go and catch fish, whatever, right? But yeah, it sure feels better when it's sunny out.
Yeah. Greg, what do you think about that?
I'm got the same opinion. I'm not really sure because I've caught them in bad weather. I've caught them in good weather, so it's hard. I don't know if the sun. I think it would in the shallower water maybe, but it's never really had an opinion on that, I guess.
How did you like your heater, Greg?
Yeah,
it worked good. Yeah, I ran. So I turned it on Thursday morning. I pretty much ran it the whole time till Sunday morning. Shut it off for a couple hours on Friday, a few hours, and I burnt 4 gallons of diesel in 72 hours. So it wasn't bad.
Oh wow!
Yeah, like it's pretty good. I didn't have to change and charge batteries or nothing, but I did have my generator running the whole time. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So you have to have that running off a battery, obviously.
Yeah. So I was going to run the battery, and I said, well, then I got to run the charger and everything. So I just bought that 12-volt to 110 converter, plugged it into the generator, and I burned 5 gallons of gas in the generator and 4 gallons in the heater. So it wasn't bad at all. Some guys don't like the sound of a generator, but I slept like a baby.
The thing
Depends
I
if
see with
it's quiet, I guess, if it's quiet.
Yeah.
When I look at those, because when the guys want to put them in flip overs and all that, it's like it is obviously a very nice option, but then when you've got like a flip over, you're looking at lightweight, so you're looking at a lithium battery, so it's minimum $300 spent.
Yeah.
And then you may want to put a box around it and all that sort of thing, and then all of a sudden it's like $700 heating system.
Yeah. Yeah, we ran in Friday night, Saturday night. I was at 16 degrees in the tent. I only had this heater about half power. And then Saturday night, it was a little cooler. I had it maxed out and still between 8 and 10 degrees, so it wasn't terrible. But my windows weren't real sealed good, so I had snow coming in. I didn't really, once I got in bed, I was too lazy to get up and change anything. So, but no, I was happy with it. It was nice. It was good. Nice dry heat. You got nothing wet inside.
Yeah, that's the biggest benefit.
Yeah.
The only other thing that does that is a wood fireplace. You don't have to get up and keep putting wood in it.
Yeah.
Did anybody try rattle baits this weekend?
I didn't know.
No.
I didn't even try. I had them there.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried them in the morning. They got a little bit of follow, but nothing. I think it's not necessarily the bait, but more so, like we all said, they weren't really in a feeding mood.
No.
So I
guess I should have tried them, but I watched some of
I have heard
Clayton's videos and they use them there for Lakers.
I know they do really well in the early season.
Earlier in the season, I was with Lee, and he did pretty good in the morning on rattle baits. Like he landed 3, like pretty well when I was out with Greg and Lee and all them. He bounced off 3 off the bat. But that's early season because we're getting on tubes, dead sticks, all day. So it's a whole different game that time of year.
Yeah. Yeah, that was mid-January, I think.
Yeah, it was like the 18th or somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Do you guys have anything you're going to bring to next year's tournament? Just like that you learned from this weekend? Because it's completely different than the last 2. The last 2 was cold and just miserable. And this one was nice, but the bite was a little slower. Is there anything you're going to bring from this one to the next one?
I'm going to probably buy a snowmobile and try some different spots. And, I think what I'm going to do is just try different spots. I'm going to hopefully order a snowmobile this summer, a new one. And because somebody left me.
Why did he leave?
He wanted a good
job. Yeah. No, it sounds like from the pictures and everything, he's been doing awesome. He set the Yukon Quest and everything.
Yeah, Wesley.
Yeah, he's having a lot of fun.
He's like, do you want to borrow my snowmobile for the tournament? I'm like, no. It's like over 20 grand. I'm not taking a chance with that.
Oh, floodwater gets stuck, motor gone.
Yeah. Getting in an accident on the road on the way there. Like, no. I'll use my own stuff.
Yeah. Ricky,
next year I'll probably fish more spots, I guess. Yeah. Try and find some better areas, I guess.
Yeah, it seemed like everywhere we went, it was pretty much the same nostalgic.
You have to get away from people. I found day 3 I went almost as far as I could away, and like I think there's only one more group past me. I think I went past Greg there. I seen him.
And you would have passed us too then.
Yeah. And day 3, and we did way better day 3. I should have went there day 2, but
yeah,
I was a little bit like my friend Barry got stuck out there. So I was just like, wow, it's easy to get to this spot. I'll just fish here day 2, right?
Yeah.
But
get
away from people.
That's the biggest.
Yeah.
Those ice conditions made it kind of worrisome too, kind of ish. There's only so many people going out far.
I wanted to go way further, but I started going and guys were hitting floodwater. So where we got there, I said, we'll drill some holes and found that nice drop. So I figured we'd just stick her out here. And I wish I would have explored a little more as well. We just kind of hunkered down in the same spot for 2 days, 3 days. And
you almost need good weather or a snowmobile and just a portable 2-man shack,
Yeah, just a run and
Keep
gun.
it
And
super simple, right?
yeah.
Because I was probably next year after that whole fiasco of trying to hole hop and everything, I'd probably look into a flip over. Like,
yeah,
I was looking at maybe the Eskimo 2400. Like nothing super big, but it's nice. And then I thought about a snowmobile, but I don't have the space, so I was actually looking into making a snow dog.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
Because they're like super simple, and like I was looking on Marketplace, you can actually get the track and tunnel and all that gearing and everything for like $500, and then you just wait until Princess Auto has a sale on the motor for $200, and it's just a bunch of fab work. Yeah, and it's
flip is life.
Everyone's flip is life.
Yeah, flip. Yeah, after like also looking at Dino's it's basically a mansion. That is huge. That is like I don't even know how the hell you transport that thing. That is absurd.
Yeah, the flip. Like I was thinking, maybe again a 4-door like Razor or something with tracks next year.
Yeah, I want to get tracks. I think for my side by side, you go a lot of places. I probably could have did decent because it wasn't terrible for snow. But then if you do get stuck, you're screwed, kind of thing, without tracks.
Yeah,
especially going across the lake somewheres.
And it's way lighter too. Like if you come across that little patch of ice, like we don't really know when. Like, did anybody drill holes going over to that point? I did.
Yeah. I thought I was following truck tracks for so long, and this was side by side with tracks. And I was wondering why I was dropping through, and I got out. I'm like, oh, that wasn't truck tracks. That's why we only went so far. And then once we stopped there, a few guys went past us. A lot of guys were sledding.
Yeah. There was a lot of Razors going by and everything.
Yeah.
With the all that floodwater, do you have tips for people what to bring for gear so they can recover themselves?
Shovel, number one. Shovel.
I bought 4 tire chains this year just in case, but
yeah.
I didn't need them. I feel like you need to put them on before you need them.
Yeah. It sucks when you're already stuck trying to put them on.
That's just wet.
Yeah. No, good shovel and some muscle. My truck. I bought my truck. I got a newer Dodge this year, and it came with running boards. And I'm like, man, if I get stuck, these running boards are gonna suck.
Yep.
So I just pulled them off before this tournament, just in case. And bring a strong friend to dig you out.
Yeah. And lots of patience. Lots of patience. I've dug myself at 100 times last year. This year pretty good, but last year a bunch of times.
Yeah. Like last year I was running in my little Ford Escape out there, and well, you know how bad those snowdrifts were. I just held it flat and hopefully get through them, and half the time you get stuck, and then you go, okay, get out, shovel away, and then you spend like another 10-20 minutes shoveling away, then you get out, and it's just like, but yeah, shovel is the best friend.
Oh, we lost our man here.
No, disappeared.
No.
You guys got anything planned here this weekend or what?
Work for me. I'm working now. I start tomorrow for 8 days, and then next day is off. I got some randos, but I'm going to go for pike. I think next day is off. Try to get out for some big ones. I don't know. I'll get a couple more days out in March, but we're pretty busy at work. So,
got a fair bit extra larger bait, so I might go chase some walleye and leave a big dead stick out for a pike and see what happens.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. What's your plan, Sean?
Going up north. Big fish.
Nice.
Saskatchewan?
Yeah, possibly it's Saskatchewan. Maybe some trout.
Nice.
You're not going to go visit Wesley?
No, I'm letting him settle up this summer, winter. And then next year, winter, I said, well, you find all the spots, and then I'm coming down after that. Man,
Yeah.
the scenery up there is crazy though.
It would be beautiful.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. We
Yeah,
have
no, I'll definitely be making some trips up there and maybe hopefully put some shows together for you guys so you can see what it's all about.
Nice.
yeah. I love the Yukon. Half my family's in the Yukon, so
Oh,
we
nice.
try to make it every year or two. But with the COVID, it kind of split up our usual trips because they were locked down there for a bit. But itching to get back up there. We have a cabin on Marsh Lake just outside of Whitehorse. So
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
I want to get up there in the summer with my jet boat and hit the Mackenzie. It'd be nice to
go
try.
to the Yukon. Oh man, go to the Yukon River, all the back bass or pike topwater.
Yeah, it'd be sweet.
Like casting Zara spooks and just watching the wakes come out from the sides like sharks, and you're just tensing up to see what's going to happen, and you just rip it away from everybody because you pull it way too fast. But yeah, do you guys have any other summer trips planned?
I'll be guiding pretty much all summer.
Yeah, are you going to be in Saskatchewan or around here more?
Usually, like I still work full time as a mechanic.
Yeah.
But my boss lets me take a couple months off in the summer, and I'll be in Diefenbaker. We're pretty much since June, July, and August. We're booked solid for 2 to 3 boats pretty much all summer.
Oh, nice.
So.
And you guys got your place all set up? I saw.
Yep,
few
lodge
months
is
ago.
up. We're pretty much, my brother's full at it right now. This weekend was crazy busy for him. He just got off the water at 4 today guiding, and then he does it again tomorrow. So got the ice castle, and then 2 more shacks that sleep 2 people, and they're going full out pretty much all winter. So
Nice.
yes.
And where can they get a hold of you for those trips?
Yeah, just our website on fishinggeeks.net or Lake Diefenbaker Guiding is our guiding page. We don't like putting all our guiding pictures on our Fishing Geeks page, so we branched off into Lake Diefenbaker Guiding, and it works really well. Yep.
Nice.
And the plan is for me to eventually quit and then do that full time too. So
Yeah, I'm sure it'll happen sooner than later.
yeah.
Are you guys gonna get a bigger world record rainbow or what?
Probably not rainbow, but maybe a burbot.
Burbot? That'd be insane.
I know Dino's going for that burbot.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are.
What is the number again?
25 pounds, 2 ounces. And I think a guy in Alberta caught one that was that big. I just IGFA, I don't know if he registered for it or not, but I don't think it got accepted there. But
yeah. What length was it?
Well, my burbot was 41 inches long.
Yeah.
With 26.5-inch girth. Yeah, so it was super fat.
Yeah.
But there are burbot around that will contend to my burbot. They just need to be caught, right?
Yeah.
Well, it looked like a dragon.
Yeah.
The thing was ridiculous.
But the story behind my burbot, I'll keep it simple, is a guy caught it in end of February and released it. And then he posted about it, and I knew where he caught it. And I went out pretty much all of March and fished for that fish. And I finally caught it. And he was actually fishing that day near me when I caught it. And he's like, "How's it going?" I'm like, "Oh, good. I caught my fish." And he's like, "What? you caught it?" And I'm like, "Yep." Yeah.
That thing was insane.
Yeah.
That's it.
Can you tell us any secrets for those, how you get those big burbs, or is it top secret?
Not really top secret. Lay bait on bottom, fish the burbot spawn. You got to know where they are, right? The biggest burbot at Diefenbaker we had caught beforehand was 19 pounds. So we jumped 6 pounds, right?
Oh, that's a big jump.
Yeah. So if you're in a fishery that's holding burbot, let's say up to 20 pounds, there is going to be one maybe or two that are in that 25 pound range, right, or bigger.
Yeah.
So you just gotta, be lucky and catch that one fish in the whole lake, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big lake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, but yeah,
And
knowledge
hours
works.
spent.
We do use bigger bait for the bigger fish, right? So
Yeah. What about your big rainbows?
I think most of them had died off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The life cycle's done.
Like we catch 20 pounders still, but we haven't caught a 30 pounder in about 6 or 7 years now.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Cody says thanks for the hook. Yeah, no problem, buddy. I met him at a lake, gave him a hook.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, it's Diefenbaker's still fishing good. We're catching browns and rainbows, and there are some nice ones still around. So yeah.
Awesome. So get a hold of Sean for your next trip. Head out that way. Hop in the new lodge. And you can Fishing Geeks website.
Yep, Fishing Geeks website. Book early.
Yeah.
You're running out of space already?
June's pretty much booked up already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So- it's good. A lot of return clients.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a good sign because it's just going to keep building for sure.
Yeah.
And they can always check you out on the website or the YouTube channel.
Yep, absolutely. All my new videos, I try and get them up quick, or I try and edit something sometimes. I've been slacking lately.
But you got the Cold Lake one up already, so everybody should go check that out ASAP.
Yeah.
I haven't
Yeah,
checked it out.
Spent 10 hours yesterday editing that, just trying to get it done quick, just so I don't have to do it through the week.
Yeah, for sure. And it's a ton of work.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It depends. Like, it's done all right. It could always be better, but it's just after you're done, you're like, I'm done. My brain's boggled.
Yeah. I think that's with anybody that creates anything. You're like, well, I could have done this better. I could have done this better.
Never
Every time
good.
you look at it, but you're like, man, I spent so much time. We're just going to I put out this. It's good. But then when you watch it again, you're like, well,
Yeah.
that's what I'm going to fix next time. But that's what makes good videos every time we get better. So
Yeah, you look at Jay Seaman's videos. Like, he started out, after Aaron, and now look at him. Like, just the best videos out there right now.
100%. They're entertaining. The photography is
amazing.
Awesome. Like,
Yeah.
it sucks you in and brings the whole aspect of the outdoors into that.
Yeah.
He's also had to hire another editor or cameraman, hasn't he now? Yeah.
Yeah, he does. I think he does 50% or 20% of the editing, but he has a guy that does a lot of them.
Yeah. And that obviously helps a big time, especially like you said, you spend 10 hours yourself, and like if you only have to spend 20% of that, that's a lot less workload off your back.
Yeah.
Well, I know when we were finishing up Game of Inches, he didn't even. I don't think he had even seen a couple of the episodes. Maybe he was joking. He was probably joking, but
Yeah.
Here's something I want to ask you. I know that format was good for everybody's channels, but did you I don't know. I liked watching more
the 39 hours.
Yeah. It's just more user friendly, I guess.
39 hours probably won't happen again.
Yeah.
Because of the person having to edit everything.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's insane. So what we came up with this time is like, well, we'll do this, but everyone needs to videotape their own stuff and edit their own stuff, and then we'll do it. Right. Yeah. So number one, it helps our YouTube channels.
Yeah.
Makes us money on the YouTube channels, and actually get some content out there, right?
Yeah.
So we got it done.
With that, are they going to have I know because I'd start watching one, then it'd jump to some other show. Are you going to have like a better kind of like storyline to go through all of them? Like, because you can set up on one channel, so it's like you watch that one for the day, then the next one loads right away.
I think that's more YouTube, is it?
Yeah, that's more YouTube algorithm causing you headaches than anything.
If you went to all the videos, all the links to the other videos are in the description.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you just clicked on the description, all the links to that next episode is in the description to the other channels.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the easiest way we did it. And we were going to we were going to film something in March here, but it kind of fell through. So we'll hopefully see something maybe next year get filmed.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was a ton of footage. Like once you watched everybody's, it was just, you could still watch it.
Like, and it gave people, like a lot of people wanted more 39 hours. Like they wanted the episodes longer and stuff. Well, here you go.
Yeah.
There's this many episodes. Have at her, boys. You know, if you want to watch them, you can watch them. If not, you didn't have to, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Basically, every episode, like if you wanted to count every week, you were watching over 100 or like at least an hour of footage every time.
Yeah, or more. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's fun. It's nice to be involved in stuff like that for sure.
How'd you like the concept?
It was good.
Was it easier on the body? Because I know you guys were. You tried to change the concept on the second season, 39 hours, but then I know some competitors actually found it harder because then you'd be driving throughout the night and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, sleep deprivation was definitely a factor in episode 2. You know, we had beers ready when we were done episode 2, and after we were done fishing, and we're like, no, we're not touching those beers. Like, I think I'm gonna have a heart attack if I drink a beer right now. I'm so sleep deprived. But this year was good. We planned our driving days, day 1 and day 2, and then we planned the rest of the time at the lodge so we could actually get some sleep and finish strong at the end. So we had all the species at Diefenbaker we needed, right?
Yeah.
So it was easier, definitely, depending on how you planned your trips, right?
Yeah. I remember seeing season 2 of 39 hours, and both you and your brother looked dead.
You guys didn't see the fights that we had on camera. Yeah, it's bad, but you're competing, right? And you're not doing well, and then you want to do well, but then one guy wants to do one thing, the other guy wants to do another thing, and then you start fighting.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, let's go over here. No, but that won't produce. Well, it will.
Well, Adam wanted to fish in like 3 feet for pike, and I'm like, dude, let's fish in 5 or 6, and that blew up. Ended up me fishing offshore and him fishing in the boat for a while.
Well, thanks everybody for being on. We can chat after too. Broden, where can they find you?
They can find me on Broden Smith on Facebook, and Frodo Goes on Adventure on Instagram. And that's about it. That's all I have running.
Greg?
Greg Rice on Facebook and Greg Rice 3600 on Instagram.
Sean?
Fishing Geeks everywhere.
Everywhere.
YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and a little bit of TikTok. Not my thing.
Little TikTok.
Little TikTok. Yeah.
Yeah, check out Sean's new video. He just got it up this morning. So check that out. He'll give an awesome recap of his adventure from this week. I'll try to get my video out later. I think Rickles is going to try to throw something together. Kip Debating. He always has something out, so I'm sure he'll have something out later this week as well. Thanks, everybody, for being on. And we'll see everybody else next Tuesday. Have a good one. Thanks for watching.